What's up, everyone? How's it going? Coming live to you from the pasture. So I don't haven't done a video cast in a while. I haven't done a weekly video in the past 4 or 5 months. I should have been at least found some place to set up my desk and still do this, but honestly, I really had no place to do all that. Once the study's done, I can just use that little table I rebuilt last year for the time being, temporarily, until I find a desk, and then put, set the desk back up properly, and then, that can be my workstation. But I know it's no excuse. I should have, found a way, any way I could to, continue my weekly videos and everything else. But, I just kind of did what I could with what I have, mainly video updates, longer video posts, and everything else too on the IGTV. But we're so close to getting the work study done. I got the last row, which I got to set up the table saw when I get back, rip about 3/4 of an inch, on the end, make it fit, put it in, and that's pretty much done for the study, the floor. And then after that, it's just putting baseboards, window trim, crown molding, and then the floor separator, putting the door back on, and then it's done. Actually, receptacles, light switch, the covers for the receptacles and the light switch. And I want to get a fan in there, but for the time being, I think I'm just going to put that light back up. That fan I have in the room, it was like $62, so not really a huge, it's good. It's really good too. That fan works really well. The size works really well for the size of the room. It means like 100 square feet, so it's perfect. But aside from that, it's getting done. Kitchen, we're almost done. We set up the dining room table. We got the sink cabinet in there, which we just need to paint. You got the refrigerator in there, and we wanted to do some other modifications in the kitchen, but we just want to I just want to get my kitchen back, and I'm just like, we can do this probably next year if we have to, or later on. I just basically want refrigerator going, sink definitely, because I'm like, dude, I really can't cook a whole lot because I can't find I got to do it like the old school way. Just wash my dishes in a tub, rinse it off in a tub, and then like super old school way, and then put the stove back in, at least have that going. So those are like my 3 main compartments that I need for the kitchen to function, to operate properly the way I would want it to, and then everything else, counters can come in second. But I do, however, at least next to the sink, I think there's room for like a 36-inch cabinet. So that's probably the only one that we're going to need to buy. We just ended up just getting like what's available at Lowe's. It's like a Diamond Now brand or something like that. It's just like the very basic one. It was on sale for $166. So it's like, why try to buy something that's like $400? It's like, this will do. They don't have the color, but paint was $50 a gallon for furniture and cabinet paint. Just ended up with a gallon, and we were like, do we really need that much? But then again, it's like, do you really want to spend $25 for a quart of paint? So this is a cheaper way to go, just to get a whole gallon, So just pros and cons. But I think that wall, we have to shorten it a little bit. So I just kind of have to hold off on finishing the floor in the kitchen. But the room is number one though. And also just been thinking a lot more lately that, wool price dropping, mohair price dropping and everything. I don't know if it's just, if it's ever gonna come back up or not, but I've just been doing some research and whatnot. But it would make life easier to enact like a very how do you say it, in a very like unbiased perspective. I know traditionally, my family has raised sheep and goats for wool and mohair. But with the prices going down, I'm just like more, just kind of phase these guys out, these dudes here. I love them and everything, but man, with the price of wool and mohair going down, and it's just like, why go through all that work, all that labor in the springtime, and you're basically getting nothing for it. It's just a loss of income. So I've been really juggling in my mind, like, to go with hair sheep. Goats are great, but there's not really a whole lot of vegetation for goats out here. There's some bushes, but I know they're browsers. They eat, a foot and up. Sheep are grazers, they eat like a foot and down to the ground. So it's just, a balance of, and then just kind of what my pastures are able to sustain, So that's just been something that I've been really debating in my little brain. But that will make life a lot easier, especially in the springtime, because the hair sheep, like a Catadin, a Dorper, a St. Croix, those are three examples. They shed on their own, like in springtime. So they don't have wool; they have hair, kind of like a horse. They get hair. So, I've seen people raise hair sheep. Like the Catadin was actually, in my research, was a breed that was found in 1860 or something like that, not so long ago, in near Mount Catadin in, what was it, Massachusetts, somewhere in the northeast up there. So, they're cold hardy, they're winter hardy. And locally, there's a guy about 80. If you're going straight, it's probably less than that, like 70 miles. If you're going around the freeway and around, it's like maybe 90 miles. He has Dorper, and then some are crossbred with Catadin, and those are mainly meat sheep. So that's the big thing that I would want to raise them for now, is just like meat, because people around here, they want meat, and because they're a little bit bigger, they're bred for meat. So that's like one thing I've been really debating, going in that direction. And we're all getting older, and really all that labor in the springtime is getting, how do you say it? It gets a little tedious, and it's really labor intensive, like trying to shear it especially by hand with your hand shears. For some reason, I tried the electric shearer. I mean, that's just money that went to waste. I thought it would work, but well, maybe I don't know how to use it is the thing. I was trying to learn with it. I mean, I tried like 3 different sheep and it just wouldn't go. So I just went like, okay, forget this. Just I'll just go back to the hand shears and just went back to the hand shears. I tried 3 goats. Same thing. It didn't really go so well. I mean, I just got frustrated with it, trying to figure out how to do it. I traded out the clipper, the shears, and everything else, and it's still the same on a goat. So it's just, I called Premier one back, and they're like, well, they have to be clean. And I'm like, okay, I guess that was my mistake. These dudes are pasture sheep and goats. They're out in the pasture. We got crazy winds out here. They're dusty, and I can hear the shears when it was going, like the comb and the shear. What is it called? The comb and the shear, I think it is. It's like, I hear them cutting through the like bits of sand, like the bits of dust. And I think that's what dulled it so quickly too. So I mean, I was able to do 2 goats, but man, it took all afternoon. I was still like, it's like, it's just like getting stuck, and just like, okay, this is, it just got frustrating. So maybe more training, doing it properly, finding a better way to do it might resolve that issue. Well, it will, but so it's just kind of like actually deciding what to do now. And then also just finding, getting restarting with nice, docile sheep and or goats, mainly sheep. I mean, a lot of people around here they prefer sheep meat over goat meat. So I would say I would start with sheep. And get some animals from a nice docile group, and just ones that are used to human interaction and being able to be shepherded. That would be like, it'll probably take a while to find a herd like that, and then to be able to buy some sheep from a herd like that. So, but I guess I got time. It's not gonna happen right away. You gotta kind of slowly phase these ones out, bring the other ones in. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now, trying to deciding how I want to do this, what direction I want to go in, because like seriously, the wool and mohair prices are they're just like nothing. USDA offers like assistance with that. They kind of have like I forgot what it was called, like a price reimbursement type of thing. So they give you an additional like $1 a pound, but still, it's like crazy. I mean, last year we weren't even able to sell until about this time in August. It was crazy. This year we were able to sell earlier, but the prices were just so low. I mean, sheep wool, like 10 cents a pound. It's like, really? Come on, dude, that's crazy. Mohair, which is goat, mohair is just the best I've ever seen mohair go for. Was $4 a pound. I mean, that was incredible. But still, now it was like, what was it? If I remember correctly, it was like 6 to 5 cents a pound. Now it's just like wow, this is crazy, So I don't know if it's gonna come back up. I don't know if it's gonna stay the same for however many years. It's so hard to tell with the wool and mohair market, to see how, like, what direction it's going to go in. Yeah, it's just hard to see where it's going to go. I mean, live animals are just, prices are just crazy right now. Even cattle I've seen, like live cattle, man, it's crazy, man. I mean, it's like $1.40 a pound. It's like, wow, that's nothing, man. I mean, last year was a little bit less than that. The year before, I mean, I've seen some that were like $1.85, $1.90 a pound. It's still, that's the only reason why I got out of selling live cattle, to be honest with you. And I just, process the cow, sell the beef. I mean, I was able to triple, what I could make as far as selling a live cow. And that was just like the reason why I went that route. But then again, in this area, it's just like so hard to find customers because everybody has their own cattle or whatever, and like, I can get it cheaper over here, I can get it cheaper at the store. Now there's a Pasture in town, I can go to town to Safeway, Walmart, or whatever, I can get it for a third of that price. And I'm just like, okay, you go do that, but you don't know how that cow was raised. It was raised on grain in a feedlot, just fattened up in a short amount of time. It's like out here, it's like they're pasture raised, they get plenty of exercise, they get all the sun they want, fresh water, and you can taste what vegetation they ate. I mean, it's like natural vegetation. So it's, no steroids, no hormones, nothing like that you hear of, antibiotics, all this crazy nonsense. I mean, we give them like vaccination shots every now and then, but that's just like the necessary stuff, like as far as like a 7-way, just to prevent what's going on. And that's like, they get it every year, and that's just yearly, not constant. So, and there's nothing to make him huge in a matter of time. And I mean, it takes, for me, it's like 2 years old is when I processed them. And last year, live weight was like 600 pounds. So I mean, the year before was 600. The year before that was like 540. And, because that one was actually 18 months, so it was 540. So, it's like they're roughly average it out to about 560, 580 pounds probably. I mean, if you average it out, that's probably about 580. But if you keep the same age consistent, I'm pretty sure it'll consistently be 600 pounds, like hitting weight. So, but, that's just how it goes, though, with everything, even with the garden, the veggies. I had a few people in the community that were really on board with me in the beginning, and, they really supported me, and they still do. But it's just like there's really not enough of a like, as far as consumers, there's not enough to to even grow a lot as far as beyond personal consumption. So it's just kind of crazy. I mean, it's like people would rather save like money to go into town and buy whatever is there, and then like at Walmart or Safeway or a Pasture or something, and it's like, okay, well, that's sprayed with pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers and whatnot. It doesn't matter if it says organic. I know the organic is still a little bit different, raised a little bit different, but they still, if you go to the OMRI website, you'll still see some chemicals listed that are labeled as organic, safe for organic use. But if you research that chemical, you'll notice that it's really not that organic. But anyway, that's like personal opinion. I'm not trying to tell you that organic supermarket is not organic. I'm just telling you, if you do the research, you take the time to understand it, look at it from an unbiased view, you'll understand, like what really is happening behind all these crazy growers and whatnot. So I always try like my best to be unbiased on everything when I'm doing my research. I don't want to just be biased and say this is like this is like that. It's like I would rather just stay neutral, be unbiased, do my research, both sides and whatnot, listen, read, whatever, and then come to my conclusion to really understand what I was able to see, what I was able to find. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's just how I guess some things are. But I have no idea what the point I was trying to get to on that was. But anyway, as far as the garden and everything growing beyond personal consumption, it's just maybe there's like half a dozen to a dozen people that still do ask me about veggies. And last year I just due to what happened with my mom, losing my mom, and I just totally lost motivation for the garden. I just wasn't feeling it, just nothing. I just didn't even care about to even go back into the garden. This year I kind of did, with the help of my partner, and she was so excited to actually plant some stuff, and I just kind of like, all right, let's go, maybe this will help. So it did. We got some corn coming up, one squash plant that's starting to produce some little tiny squashies, two other ones that are coming up. We have I think a cantaloupe that's coming up too. But yeah, hopefully next year, I want to hook up my tiller, till a part of it for the winter, like to overwinter carrots, spinach, broccoli, kale, chard, and stuff like that, peas and all, like the cold weather stuff. But for some reason, the house is more pulling me away from everything else. I mean, I probably shouldn't really blame that, but then I don't want to really overwork myself. I know my limits too. When I start feeling tired, I'm like, all right, that's enough for now. I'll get to whatever I was doing, whatever I didn't get done tomorrow. So, it's just also really taking care of yourself, your health, your body, physically, mentally, and knowing where your limits are. For me, I can go 6, 7, 8 hours physical labor wise, and then start feeling tired. And I'm like, all right, slowing down. And then once I hit about 60%, I know my brain is like, hey, yo, you gotta find a stopping point, buddy. If you go beyond the 60% threshold, it's tomorrow. You're just gonna be lazy. You're not gonna be too motivated to do anything. So you just gotta listen to your body. I know 60% is still a lot of energy. I mean, dude, when I was like 10 years ago, that was like I could go 12 hours. But now, I'm 40 years old, man. I'm like, I got back problems um, due to an injury when I was in Iraq. So it's like I can't do what I used to do anymore, like I used to do back then. I mean, recently, the past, I'd say about 4 or 5 years, it's I've been like on a plateau for the past 10 years. And also, 4 years ago, it kind of started dipping, and then slowly, and then I think last year is going to kind of boop a little bit sharp drop. So yeah, it's like my body can't recuperate as quickly as well. So that's why right now it's like 60%. It's like, yo, you gotta slow down, bro. Like, you gotta find a stopping point. It's like, just gotta listen to your body is I think what it is, as far as physical labor, physical demands, and also mentally as well. So but yeah, other than that, it's just staying active is a big thing, like as far as taking care of your health, eating right. This year, I just trying to eat right, but I've just been mainly getting, I know I was kind of talking shit about the grocery stores and whatnot, but, I just been purchasing veggies and produce from the grocery store because like I said, last year I just lost motivation with the garden. I just didn't want to grow anything. I just had no motivation to grow anything or to even go into the garden. So same with this year. I wanted to, but the house just kind of became a priority for us, and that just kind of became a priority, and we're still going at it right now. So even with the fall plants that I want to plant, I know I can find the time to do it, but I just feel like there's no motivation for me to do it. But I think I just have to find some time within the next 2 weeks to just do it, and not worry about everything else, no matter what. I mean, I do think about the process and how fun it is, and how fun it is to do all that stuff, and then also to just enjoy that process of planting and doing everything. So it's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I think it's because I just got the news about my mom when I was in the garden, and it kind of reminds me of that, but probably more just like going in there and accepting what happened, and just kind of just accepting it, and actually just learning how to live with it, I guess. Is that the proper way to say it? Like, if you accept something, you learn how to live with it, right? And just kind of not deal with it, but more just like, yeah, like acceptance. It's like, okay, so I know it was a place of grief for me for a while, but now, that stage is over. I gotta continue on. So, bring back my motivation, everything for that, just to refine that happiness, because that was my place to be happy, my place to just zone out, forget everything, and just focus on that one thing, which is life. And I guess if you look at it from a different point of view, it's like life and death. And you experience it every year. You plant a seed, you develop life, but then you're weeding the weeds, and that's death. So you're always balancing. But then what happened last year was just the sad news I received, and that was, just death of a super close human being. And it was, no way. I know it's going to take a little bit more time, but I think little baby steps at a time, we'll get there. And next year, you know, I know I'll be super excited to go back there and to find that happiness again, that peace of mind, that just that joy for life and for everything else, you know, to feed myself, to nourish my body with, you know, what I've grown, all that hard work, all that tending to for the crops, you know, just eating it, enjoying the taste, enjoying every bit of it, and, you know, my body nourishing it. So, but I mean, I know I'm going to get back there, and I'm hoping it'll be this spring. You know, it will be this spring. I just, maybe I just needed an extra year to, you know, accept the loss and the sad news that was given to me in my place of joy, you know, my place of happiness. And every time I do think of it, you know, I still get a little emotional with that, but I think I've gotten to the point to where I know I've accepted it. I know, like in my weekly video, I said that back in November, and it is, you know, it is true. I have got to that part, but still every now and then with the garden, it just still feels like my heart is like still, you know, like, oh man, you know, I'm still hurting from that sad news. So, you know, I know it's gonna heal, you know, so, but you know, whatever time it takes for y'all, I mean, everybody's different. Some people take years, some people take minutes, some people take days, months. It's like, for me, it's going to take a year and a half probably to get back there. So I just know that, you know, I just feel like next spring is going to be this coming spring. I know I'll be back in there. I just already have plans and thoughts for how I want to do the garden and everything next year. So I mean, it's already kind of excitement building up inside of me. Like, you know, I can't wait to do it this year, this coming spring. You know, so I just want to kind of start within the next couple of weeks to and get the fall one going too, and then just, you know, do a little attempt. If it grows, it grows. If not, it, you know, at least I tried. You know, so I mean, that's like another step towards that, you know, goal as well. Refinding yourself within that space. I think that's what more makes sense in my brain at the moment. So, yeah, I think that's all it is. But, you know, with everything else right now, that's just kind of where I'm at. I know I haven't really done a whole lot of posts, but yeah, we'll get back to the normal schedule once we get the study set up, which I'm actually got to head back now. So these dudes are doing good. Been out here with them for over an hour, about an hour and a half. So, but yeah, those are just thoughts, you know, things going on in my head, what direction I want to go in. So yeah. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to head back, work on finishing up that study so I can get back to editing videos for the week. These monthly video casts as well. I know I miss editing my videos, my weekly videos. I only wish I shot more of the home renovation remodel thing, but I really didn't. I just start working and I forget to turn on the camera, and I'm done. I'm like, oh, I should have totally just, you know, and that's okay though. At least you guys came along with me to see the before and then the after, and yeah, I think that's fair enough, right? But yeah, so I'm gonna head on back here now. These dudes are doing good. They've been wanting to head back this way, so they're probably gonna head behind the hill for a bit. Yeah, they're chasing grass that they enjoy to eat. So I'm gonna be over here so they can head back this way. But hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Hope y'all are having a wonderful summer. I'm back to work, just half time, but also my other job here with these dudes. I did discuss like whether to go back full time or not, but if I do, these guys gotta, I can't, I wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, it's just constantly buying hay, feeding them morning and evening, and I wouldn't want to be like that. I would rather have them at least, be out half of the day, and in the morning times they get a bale of 2-wire hay, and that's just enough. That's probably kind of like a snack for them, but I get back, I'll let them out. So I mean, at least they stretch their legs, eat fresh veggies out here. So there's Stella and Kate following me around. But yeah, so usually a hard time for me to finish, right? But all right, I'm gonna head back now and let these guys be out on their own for a bit. So hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following me. I appreciate all y'all for the support and everything you do on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So thank you. Have an awesome day and be well. Peace, everyone.